Good morning, South Rock. Today we're looking at Acts chapter 2, the first 11 verses. And basically, this is some of the most common and strangest passage that we read. This is when the Holy Spirit poured out on the disciples and those that were gathering for the day of Pentecost. This is 50 days after Jesus had risen. He had just ascended into heaven. And they're just kind of looking at each other going, okay, everything we've known, everything we've thought, it's all different now. So what do we do? And I find a lot of parallels to what we're experiencing right now. So everything that we thought and everything we were doing and everything that made sense to us is kind of different now. And so we're just sitting around saying, all right, what do we do? And we read in the text that it suddenly poured out on them. They were speaking strange tongues. People could actually understand what they were saying. And then the Holy Spirit came down in power. I see a couple different things going on with this. First of all, we need to remember that this was an answer to prayer. This was a promise fulfilled by Jesus when he said, when I leave you, I'm going to leave someone with you that's even greater than I. This is what he was talking about. And the Holy Spirit is that's the promise that Jesus had. In part and in large part, that's why he came, why he died, why he raised again, so that we can know the kingdom even in his absence. Secondly, it's important for us to consider this because Paul said that the Holy Spirit is a seal of God's promise. In other words, the Holy Spirit's a sign of our salvation. Because of the Holy Spirit, we know that we are saved. And so maybe now that everything's all disoriented for us, we can look at the Holy Spirit and say, hey, now I know that I'm saved. A.W. Tozer once said that today, if the Holy Spirit were removed from our churches, that 95% of what we do we would still do, and no one would know the difference. But in the New Testament, if the Holy Spirit were removed from the church, 95% of what they do, they wouldn't be able to do, and everybody would know the difference. So that's a question for you. If the Holy Spirit were not present or active in your life, would any of you know the difference? Would anyone around you know the difference? At the end of this text, the people that were looking at them and wondering what they were doing, thought that they were drunk, but they also started asking the question, what does this mean? And so I challenge you to ask yourself that question. What does all of this mean? What does me and just the Holy Spirit and all the stuff I thought I knew and all the stuff that was normal to me being different? Lord, what does this mean? Chew on that. Talk about that with those that you're stuck in your house with, and you guys have a great and blessed day.